AEW is on fire in 2026 with TV ratings as it keeps climbing up. Plus, I have some huge Toni Storm news and other pro wrestling news. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody, to the Screw Script. I'm your host, as always, Maverick here. Thanks for joining me, as always, on this Saturday evening at the time that you'll be watching this video, most likely. I've got big news regarding Toni Storm. We'll just kick that off right away. It looks like she is set to miss the remainder of 2026 at least. That's a whole 9 months, and then some. Now, no one really knows quite yet if she's injured or if it's some sort of pregnancy, is what I'm seeing other people predict. She could be pregnant 9 months from now is the remainder of 2026. That could just be big coincidence, though. But still, a big blow for the AEW women's roster. We're going to need to see Willow and Mercedes and wrestlers like that really carry the women's division for the remainder of the year. We'll see what happens going into like All In this summer, because it seems like she's going to be out for that as well. But we have a fun little murder mystery sort of thing going on. I got a lot of predictions from people in my last video when I brought it up. Keep them coming. Keep the comments coming, the predictions coming, the guesses. I think it's a ton of fun. And this is definitely a Toni Storm thing. She probably wanted this once she found out that she was either injured or pregnant or whatever it is that's going to be keeping her out for the remainder of the year. So let me know down below the comments that you guys have, the predictions that you guys have for that. Other huge AEW news. Dynamite this past Wednesday drew 730,000 viewers, despite airing against the start of March Madness, or the hype to March Madness, whatever you want to call it. This is huge. This is not including HBO Max ratings, as we know. Likely, if you include that, even if you're on the low end of what the guess was months ago of the 300 to 500,000, even the low end of that, you're looking at over 1 million viewers for Dynamite. That is, again, I've brought it up before. I'll say it again. That's better than some SmackDowns I've gotten in the last few months. So that is huge to be competing now with WWE's B show, SmackDown, who at one point was the better show, but right now, SmackDown is SmackDown. It's not very good, which I'll touch base on that briefly later in this video. But yes, 730,000 viewers. I think, if I remember right, I saw NXT did like 200,000 less than that. They're back to consistently beating NXT. They destroyed NXT in the ratings when AEW first started, when they were both going head-to-head on the same night. And they beat them so bad that it forced WWE to change NXT to Tuesdays and also put it on a station that is available in more households than TNT and TBS are. The CW is basic cable. If you're not familiar with CW, it is, for in America anyway, for those of you who are fans of my channel that are outside the US, the CW is a local channel that anybody gets with like the basic cable possible. TBS and TNT are not. So the fact that they are not only beating them badly now on different nights, when one of them is on free television, essentially, and the other one, you have to have like an upgraded service to get TNT and TBS, or some sort of streaming service to get it. Plus, you add in those HBO Max viewers. That is huge news for AEW, and there is nothing that the E-stands can say to kind of swindle that in their favor. AEW is a lot better than WWE. They're a lot better than NXT. They're miles ahead of SmackDown and Raw, and their numbers just keep climbing. Now to quickly go over SmackDown that happened last night. I'm not going to spend too much time on this as I have some other huge news out of New Japan, actually, but we'll go over what happened on SmackDown quickly. And honestly, the only interesting thing that happened on SmackDown was Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu going at it over and over throughout the night, and then they had that huge spot at the end of the episode where they fell off some like scaffolding. That was probably the only thing that was compelling on SmackDown. Otherwise, all we saw was Randy Orton take out Matt Cardona. I have no clue why Matt Cardona even went back to WWE when all he's been doing is taking all these bumps and losses and is basically just a jobber over there like he was before he left. He should have stayed on the indies. He was the indie god. Much more interesting when he was on the independent scene versus being back in WWE. So I didn't really like that. And Then we'll get on to the worst segment of the night. Kit Wilson calling out Jelly Roll, and they had this poetry slam session. Come on, that is what you're going to have on SmackDown these days. And they're building this towards a WrestleMania moment or match, one of the two. They are really just running around trying to come together with any sort of interesting thing for a WrestleMania, and it's not going to work. The main events seem like trash because they're filled with old wrestlers in WWE. No new wrestlers are getting a spotlight for the main two titles. You've got Jelly Roll and Kit Wilson, I guess, in some sort of thing. Drew McIntyre got screwed out of a title match at Mania. They are just failing left and right. The only thing that looks interesting at Mania, I've said before, is Brock versus Oba. And then there's rumors that Penta is going to have a multi-man defense, probably going to throw in like Javon Evans, for example. That's it. I really don't care about anything else. One little clip to sum up what WrestleMania is shaping up to be, and majority of the SmackDown, is this clip right here.
That is one big pile of shit.
That's for all you Jurassic Park fans out there. That's it. That's all I want to talk about for WWE, SmackDown especially. Back to AEW and then some huge New Japan news. AEW's hologram is set to return soon, as he posted this recently. I love how he talks, basically, in some sort of hologram type lingo, essentially, saying that he's been complete. His healing is complete. He will be uploaded again soon to take out El Clone. I'm actually curious to see where this goes. This is a much more interesting entertainment side of luchador wrestling coming from AEW versus the El Grande Americano bullshit that we see is hologram and El Clone. But then you also got Bandito, Mystico as 1/3 champ, all sort of great luchadors going on in wrestling in AEW, where it's a fucking joke over in WWE. I mean, it took them over a year to finally put a title on Penta. Still nothing done with Rey Fenix. It's just awful that those two aren't even together over there in WWE. But this was great to see hologram. So let me know down below your thoughts on hologram and how you see him coming back. Hechicero ended up beating Claudio and is a world champ from CMLL for the first time in 1,500 days or something like that. He has gone a long time without being champ over there. He's quite the worker. I really like Hechicero actually a lot. So congratulations to him out of CMLL defeating Claudio for that title. And lastly, before I get on to my daily dumb take, out of New Japan, Will Ospreay actually shouted him out from AEW. So this is AEW New Japan Hybrid News. He goes on to say, one more piece to the puzzle. Congratulations to Callum Newman, the youngest ever New Japan Cup winner. Callum Newman's 23. He's just a kid. He is almost 10 years younger than me, and he just became the youngest New Japan Cup winner. He is essentially the leader now of Will Ospreay's old group from New Japan, United Empire. I think at some point in 2026, or at least at the latest, early 2027, we will see Callum Newman take an AEW stage. I think it's just only inevitable. It's the most organic way for him to go into his pro wrestling career whenever he's done in New Japan, or he signs a hybrid New Japan AEW contract like Will Ospreay did initially, where he was jumping back and forth between the two. But I do think at some point in the future, we will see Callum Newman in AEW, maybe even feuding with Will Ospreay. Those two can feud over United Empire and its morals. I think that would be a great sort of feud to have. If you aren't familiar with Callum Newman, look him up. He's the Prince of Pace. Great new entrance music he just recently came out with, I think a month or two away, called Make Way for the Prince, or just Make Way. You can look that up on YouTube. He's just a great kid, and I see great success for him in the future, and I feel like at some point we will see him in AEW. And now to close out the video, this is how I'm going to always close out videos before I get to my closing segment. We've got the Daily Dumb Take. Daily Dumb Take is actually from some wrestlers this time around. It's from the Bella Twins. They say that they deserve a big retirement send-off in WWE like Cena and AJ Styles. They go on to say, I don't think you and I will ever get that last big retirement moment like John or AJ in WWE, but I would love to see to have that. The contract was signed. We signed a 2-year deal starting at the Royal Rumble. From the talks that you and I have, I know that's it. That will be the end of us. I need that closure on things, so I'd love to put my kicks, snapbacks, and jersey in the ring and truly get the big final bow for us. I'm sorry, Bella Twins, but you guys aren't even close to the level of John Cena and AJ Styles. Or if you're going to compare just women's division, you aren't as good as many Hall of Famer women. I'm sure you'll likely get inducted into the Hall of Fame because WWE inducts pretty much anyone into the Hall of Fame these days. So it really doesn't seem very prestigious anymore because they're running out of legit talent to induct into the Hall of Fame. But to say that you are on their level, that is an awful take. I completely disagree with that, and that is why that is the Daily Dumb Take. That's all I had in this episode of Screw the Script. Let me know down below your thoughts on Toni Storm, your thoughts on Callum Newman winning at 23 years old, the New Japan Cup, your thoughts on Hologram returning. How do you feel about Dynamite ratings surging back up? I think it's great. And ask me whatever else you want. Remember, comment and subscribe. Comment on each other's comments. Keep it flowing. It really helps the algorithm. I'm trying to get to 2,000 subscribers before the end of spring, and I think it's very possible. As always, this has been Maverick with Screw the Script. Thanks for watching.
For all the fucking fans that support this shit.